What's going on, guys? This is Prince Pyramid back with another one. Back in our new lodge. We'll have to move all our diamonds over because I had a glitch on the main lodge, so everything's getting moved over here. But it's that time where we have to do another guide video because we just put this guy in the lodge, the wild boar, the fabled brindle. And this was a pretty quick grind. We got it within 200 to 400 kills. I don't really keep track. I wasn't with these guys because it didn't go that long. But I want to go ahead and head over to Scotland, show you guys how I'm set up, and hopefully this will help you guys put a wild boar in your lodge as well. So let's go ahead and head over to Scotland and take a look at the setup. Alright guys, so first things first, if you're going to set up on Scotland, you want to set up on the bottom third of the map. They are very concentrated just down here, to the point where it would be almost a disservice to try to set up anywhere else because it's just so easy. But all I did was put a feeder down, put a tent beside it, run about 300 to 250 meters, and then put a tent and tripod down. That's it. And all these spots that I'm showing you right now are based on a handful of guides I watched, and then picking out what everybody had in common and then applying that to my own. So I didn't want 16 zones. I didn't want to set up on a lot. I wanted pickup tents. I wanted to make this as efficient as possible. And with this setup, I was able to basically capture, I think, all the boar. There's a handful of herds that probably aren't feeding on my feeders, but for the most part, I'm pretty confident that we were hitting most of our boar. And every 100 kills, I would run the drink zones anyways, just to make sure there wasn't a solo great one that had slipped out. But let me refill this. You always want to fill these things with the mash, and you want to make sure that you're using the barrel feeder since we're hunting the hogs. And it's that straightforward, guys. But the important thing to remember is your map is going to vary. So when you go to set down your feeders, make sure that there is just some evidence that there are wild boar nearby. And the easiest way to tell that you have wild boar coming is you'll see the feed start to disappear. It's super easy, but I want to go ahead and show you guys what a run will look like, and then I'll show you the minute we actually got our great one. Alright, so this is the actual run where the great one spawned, and he conveniently spawns in the last zone, but I want to show you guys exactly how all my zones work and how my run would work. So this is zone 1. It's by the beach on the western part of the map, and there's no boar here as you saw. But usually, and I'll stress this too, if you're going to cycle multiple times through your zones, eventually they're going to come into their feed zone. Like a lot of times I'd hit a zone, there wouldn't be boar there. And then when I was on my second rotation, it'd be full of boar. So don't get discouraged. As long as you're seeing, like I said earlier, you're seeing the feed start to disappear, then you know there's boar there, because boar are the only things that are going to eat from the barrel, and they're the only things that's going to eat the mash. So you're fine as long as you're watching it disappear. All right, so this is zone 2. And this whole setup, guys, took, less than an hour. Like I said, feeder, tent beside the feeder, set up a tent 300 yards away, and then set up a tripod that's relatively close to the tent. Because with the 300 and you have the nice scopes, like there's no way you have to get super close to them. And that's another thing that brings me, that's a good point. I don't know why anyone doesn't grind with the 300, especially on feeders, because we can see if we're shooting rares. So I grind 100% with the 300. And then if you'll see when the great one shows up, if it's a trophy that I need to keep, I will always shoot it with the 30-06. Like all my grinds. I don't think, since the Hanson's come out, I don't think I've had a grind where I've recommended anything but using that Hanson 30-06. So let's go pick this guy up. I'm trying to think of what other things could slow down this grind. Obviously, if your map is a little bit different than mine and you're not finding those wild boar at the same exact zones I'm at, then kind of explore around, but don't go too far out of the way. Because what I showed you guys earlier, as we'll go to the next zone, but what I showed you guys earlier is gonna capture most of the pigs on your map. And if you start getting over concentrated in one zone or another zone, you're gonna end up missing pigs, and that could be kind of a pain. I guess the way you alleviate that is also follow my advice and make sure that you are doing the drink zones every 100 kills, just in case a great one was a solo that was feeding and you shot it and then it bounced out. This way you avoid that very unlikely scenario from happening, but in case it does, you're covered. All right, so zone 3, we got fallow, but I don't think we had any boar. And this is actually my trouble zone. A lot of times, like, the feed was going down, but I think it's one of my smaller herds because everything else would be, and you'll see this too, watching the feed disappear in some zones and slowly start to go down in other zones, you can really play with it a lot. But that was one of my slower zones. They only had a handful of pigs that would be there at any given time, which is why it took so long for the feed to disappear. But I'm pretty sure zone 4, we'll see, was full of pigs. And maybe badger too, I can't remember. One of these always had badger beside the pigs. Yep, tons of pigs out there. And the other thing I would recommend, guys, again, it is daytime a little bit more, but with the updates to their fur, a lot of these rares, you're not going to be able to tell. I can't tell. So I just kind of accepted that I was probably going to hit some rares with the 300. Thankfully, that didn't happen, but take this guy. And you could always do follow-ups too. I typically just wanted them to get out of the way because I was moving so quickly. I didn't do a lot of follow-ups. I didn't see a need to do a lot of follow-up shots, but I mean, that's up to you guys. Pick this guy up and keep on moving. Up here, this is zone 5, I think. Yeah, definitely zone 5. But what's going to happen up here, guys, is you're going to see I have a field full of nothing but females. Okay? And what I would do, because this would happen from time to time, you'd show up, you had just shot the male out of this zone, and there'd be nothing but females. I would treat it the same way as if there were no pigs there. So you saw earlier we had some zones where we didn't have pigs, the pigs hadn't come in yet. So if it's nothing but females, that, in my estimation, means that the male just hasn't come back yet. He hasn't respawned yet. We haven't taken out enough boar to force another male to fill in the gap, you know? So let's make sure. Yeah, I think there's only fallow here because I remember that this zone only had the female in the final run. But since going back, the males obviously do come back. As long as you keep taking out males, you're going to force males to keep respawning. But in this situation, we're not going to shoot any of these boar, and we're just going to pack it up and move to zone 6, which is right here. I also love that this map has so many hills because it makes it so much easier to set up your tripod to overlook your zones, which just goes so well with the feeders. Like, I don't know if EW's plan when they came out with feeders was for it to be a grinding tool. I'm kind of convinced they probably didn't think it was going to be, but on the other hand, this is what the community has become, so like they had to know, right? All right, zone 6. And this is my big zone. And I'm pretty sure there's multiple herds here, or at least a big herd with several solos that would eat here. This is where I took a couple 5s. And we're just going to take the guy laying down. He's the biggest one. Right there. And we'll let those guys get out of the way, and then we'll fast travel to go pick him up. Like I said, the follow-ups for me really weren't worth it, because a lot of times the follow-ups mean that you're not getting a good shot on them, and then you have to go run them down. So I would take my good shot, make sure I got vitals, pick it up, let them all flee so I don't get trampled, and then move to the next zone. So zone 7. And hopefully, guys, this helps you. I know that, like I said, the zones are going to differ from person to person, but this is going to be pretty close. I'll tell you that. I watched several guides before I did my setup and almost did like an overlay of like, okay, this is what everybody has in common. So this is where I'm going to set up. Now, I could have obviously set up more zones. I could have set up on, 16 spots if I needed to. But I didn't really want to do that because that's not really efficient. This, without doubt, has become my most efficient grind. Having feeders, pickup tents, perfect overlooks like this right here, where you can just see all your pigs, all your badger, whatever's out there. It's just another zone that was empty. Looks like it. Looks like it. But you saw what I'm saying? Even though that wasn't a great example, okay? You do have a ton of overwatch over each of these zones because of the hills. But we're now at zone 8, guys, so we're going to see what the Great One looks like out in the field. And I've told people, yes, the pigs look a lot bigger since the update. But the minute you see a Great One boar, you're not going to have to spot it and see that it's level 10 because they're giant. And it's dusk now because of the feed times. We don't have to, hunt them in their drink time. So you can actually see the stripes on them. But you wouldn't even need that even if you got like one of the more common looking ones. Because let me show you. All right. Boar. You can already see him. He's huge. He's so much bigger than the other ones. So you're not going to accidentally, not spot your Great One. But there he is, guys. So you already know we're not going to be using the 300. Let's bring out the 30-06. Switch out the scopes. And wait for my heart to go back down. Because he's not going to cooperate in any way. So should be good now. I'm going to put it right there. Let's go. Great One boar down. And guys, with all the new diamonds added to the map on top of a new Great One, I was like, man, I don't know. It's kind of like every time you're about to get your head above water, you're about to get all the diamonds, all the Great Ones, they just dump more water on you, But knocking out the Great One grind super early like this really helps our chances of getting all the diamonds and that freaking Great One fox that is still somewhere on Salzwiesen that we just can't spawn, but we will spawn him. I feel a lot more confident that we'll have all that done before a new map drop. But we're not worried about any of that right now, guys. Let's go pick up our Great One boar. That, if I remember right, he didn't flee at all. We got a pretty good shot right off rip. There he is. And the music plays. And guys, he reminded me of Tiger Stripes, but man, the brindle, the stripes, it's blended better. It looks so much better on a boar than on the freaking mule deer, so we will take it. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So this has been the Wild Boar Great One Guide, and I'm Prince Pyramid, and until next time, everybody, have a good one.